Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicky Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the podcast. We are so pleased that you are with us today, tuned in to the Vicky Show. I'm typically here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Normally I'm here 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Fridays. I did say weekday, right? Thank you so much for joining us today. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get into our very, very brief and short topic today. If you would be sure to text the word Queens to 31996. Please text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Looks like I'm getting stuff. Here we go. On the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit the thumbs up button. Would you? 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you so very much. When you do that, you help to draw other folk into the podcast. And we appreciate you doing that. That helps to strengthen our voices, the Black voice. Thank you so very much, Black family. Now, listen, I'll be before you just very briefly. I have to get ready for my mastermind class today, which I am so excited about. And I got something else going on, so it's going to be very, very short. And I didn't want to skip today. So thank you so much. Shout out to you, Derek, for your gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. I love you back, beloved. Thank you so very much. Now let's get ready to get into it now. I was watching a few days ago, actually. I was watching a few days ago a very unfortunate panel, a sad and unfortunate panel. Let's just keep it real. It was really sad. It was very sad. I mean, I needed the Kleenex, I needed the whole nine because it was just so sad what I experienced a few days ago watching MSNBC's Joy Reid's weekend show. Now, Joy Reid, that's the Black sister that's on weekends. You know how these, white networks do. They like to put Black folks, for the most part, they give them their little shows on the weekend. Every now and then they give one or two of them something during the weekday. But generally speaking, they get the weekends. Well, anyway, so I was watching Joy Reid's show on MSNBC a few days ago. And she had on this panel of all Black women who were there to discuss what they say are demands for Joe Biden, their demands for Joe Biden. And they basically were saying to Joe Biden, this is their tangibles. Somebody told Black to me, for lack of a better, I shouldn't even use that word in that context, should have. But this is what they're telling Joe Biden that they are demanding. They said that they want him to pick a Black woman, 3 things. They want him to pick a Black woman as his vice president. And they want him to pick, have in mind, a Black Supreme Court justice, a Black female Supreme Court justice. And then the third thing, something about a Black agenda. That was quite nebulous and unclear exactly what they meant by that. But that is what they said their demands were. Isn't that something? So as weak and tepid and feckless and useless as all of that is. Because let's be clear. None of that, and I told you today is going to be a very brief podcast. I wanted to at least get to you today, Black family, to at least discuss this very briefly. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for tuning in. So let me just get right to it because I have another thing I've got to take care of. And so let's just be clear. All of that has absolutely nothing to do with Black people. Let's just keep it, okay. We don't even need to be deep or diplomatic about this at all. Are y'all hearing me today? Those three so-called demands have absolutely nothing to do with Black upward mobility, with Black progress, with Black liberation. It has absolutely nothing to do with Black folk becoming more successful, more putting us in a better position for self-determination. None of that has anything to do with our justice claim for reparations. None of that has anything to do with Black people. All of that is useless symbolism. And it was a way to make them feel like, as ancient mammies, that they were powerful and that they were flexing their muscles. All of that it was just for show. It was just to make them feel good. They had a homegirl named Joy who got a weekend show on MSNBC. They said, let's get together, girl. Come on, let's talk. This is what we're going to say. Look, get a Black VP. That sound good. Get a number 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 2 is Supreme Court pick. And number 3, let's be vague. Let's be unclear about this last one. Let's just say a Black agenda. We've been hearing the Black grassroots who's been putting in this work for some time. We've been hearing them talk a whole lot about a Black agenda, a Black agenda, Black agenda for a long time now. So why don't we just throw that out there? And we see Diddy, Diddy, he's been listening to us too. And some of the other ones been talking about a Black agenda stuff. So let's just do that. In fact, 1 or 2 of them probably even talked to Diddy and said, this is what we plan on doing. After Diddy came out and said 2 or 3 things talking about how the Democrats are going to have to work for our vote. But let me tell you what the biggest issue with this whole humiliating and pathetic panel that they put together. The most humiliating part is that when I was listening to them, after they were all talking about different things that they wanted, they were all talking about the fact that Black women had saved the Democratic parties for almost 40 years and blah, 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 right? The worst, aside from that pathetic list, is when they were asked, okay, in fact, no, they, at the point that I heard it, if I'm not mistaken, they weren't even asked this. They simply made it clear. We're not saying that we're not going to vote. Lord have mercy. You have the nerve to make a request from politicians who lie all the time. You acknowledge that you've been played and they've used you to get in that position for almost 40 years. We know in America they've been using us for almost 5 centuries, right? But yet, how are you going to enforce this thing? How are you going to enforce your demand? What is the purpose? What is the use of making these demands, knowing how they lie, knowing how they've done nothing for you substantively for many decades? How are you going to see to it that what you are demanding takes place? Shout out to you, Victor, for your gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. Instagram, please get ready to come on over to FlyNewBeanQueenTV.com because I'm going to use this device here in just a moment. It's going to be a very brief podcast today, family, so you want to hurry so you don't miss anything. Come on over Instagram to FlyNewBeanQueenTV.com. Thank you so much. By the way, family, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Now watch this. Watch this. which is so pathetic, actually. Listen to this. I'm getting ready. I want to get ready to pull this up so that you can listen to it in just a second here. So listening to that, they was feeling good. You know, they was doing that little sister girl talk. They was talking about all the stuff that we dealing with and stuff, and how Black girls have made it happen. That's that little that piece of high school girlfriend Vicky came through right there. That's what that was. But that's how they was feeling. You can tell that's how they was feeling. You know, when they got together, they was feeling themselves. And you know, Sonny Hostin was like, "Girl, you know, I'm on The View." And Amanda Seals was like, "I'm on that other talk show, and I'm a comedian too." What? Joy, like, y'all know I got this show on the weekend. So if y'all gonna do something, y'all better go ahead and do it, because y'all know they listening to me. So what y'all gonna do? What's up? Girl, we're gonna do a panel. We're going to have at least 3 points. And then we're going to be like, what? With your funny looking self. Funny looking people need to have a funny looking seat. Somebody talk black to me. Shout out to you, Silent D Production, for your gift. He said, it's funny how the ones that look down on us, conscious folks, look like us and want to think like us, but they don't want to speak for us. That's exactly right. And they don't want to go there. They love to quote the MLKs. They love to quote the Malcolms, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's, and Black Panthers, and all of this kind of stuff, and Fannie Lou Hamer. They love to quote those individuals, but they're not really willing to risk it all. They just want to ingratiate themselves in the presence of whiteness. And this is why I say I'm doing the Lord's work on the Vicky Show. Somebody talk black to me. I'm doing the Lord's work. What you mean, Vicky, you doing the Lord's work? Baby, I'm casting out demons. What do you mean? Wicked mindsets, anti-black, Jim Crow, chattel slavery, sharecropping mindsets. I'm casting out the demon of slave. Somebody talk black to me. I'm casting out the demons of slave. Y'all hearing me today? I'm saying to you, as I've always said, as I've said for some time now, is that only a slave is expected to do something for what? For nothing. Is that right, family? Only a slave is expected to do something for nothing. That's not us anymore. We are free thinking Black people. And seeing that we built this country, and seeing that everybody that comes to this country eats off of us, exploits us, misuse us, and refuse to actually be allies for us, to stand with us, and to do right by us, there is no reason for us to continue to give our all for institutions, systems, people, places, and things that refuse to do anything for us. Why do I say I'm casting out demons? Why do I say that's your inner slave? Because if you're feeling uncomfortable, that means something is beneath the surface in you. That's not God. Are y'all hearing me today? That means that if something in you is like, but what if we don't go out there and vote? What about the federal judges that they putting on the bench and stuff? What if Trump is in office? See, that fear, when that fear comes up in you like that, and you're trying to decide which side of the coin of white supremacy you're going to err on, that lets you know that's that slave that's in you. That's got to be cast out. Let's cast out these demons. Watch this. Let me get ready to pull it up. As I pull this up, family, don't forget to keep giving us a thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Would you do that? Again, my name is Vicky Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky Dillard, Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. And also be sure to subscribe to my little YouTube channel at VickyDillard.tv. Somebody put that in the chat for me, VickyDillard.tv. Subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. I just put up something on my community tab for the ladies to let the ladies know I got a little feminine, corny little video coming up for the sisters on my personal YouTube channel soon. So that's subscribe there at VickyDillard.tv. Would you? Watch this. Give me just a second so I can pull this up. Watch this. Now, this is what I was looking at. Watch this. So when they asked, not even asked. I mean, they just came out and said it, we're not saying that we're not going to vote. What? Let me ask you something. Who do you negotiate with? Shout out to you, Bobby, for your gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. Who do you know when you go for negotiations? You sit down at the table. Quid pro quo is supposed to occur, meaning both sides are supposed to benefit. Both sides should be able to get something. There should be a reasonable and a fair compromise. Shout out to you, Bobby Williams. I think it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that said years ago that that's what justice is. Justice is what? Justice is about the principle of fair dealing. See, if there's not fair dealing, guess what's not occurring? Lord have mercy. If there is not fair dealing, guess what's not occurring? Justice is nowhere in the building. And we don't have time for that madness. Somebody talk black to me. Watch this. Watch this. So they were on there and they made it clear. It doesn't even matter. I'm getting ready to read you a clip from this here in just a moment. I was further disgusted reading a tweet, a quote rather from that was put out by Stacey Abrams. How many of you all saw Stacey Abrams the other day on MSNBC appearing with Joe Biden? I watched the whole thing reluctantly, you all, because I just am tired. It's only so many Abilenes that I can take in a week. You feel what I'm saying? It's only so many Abilenes. Who's Abilene, black family? Who's Abilene, black family? Abilene. Who's that? You already know. Brother Kofi, I think he said it first. The help. Somebody talk black to me. The help. It's only so many Abilenes I can take. Shout out to you, Pearlie, for your gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. Ain't nobody purposely quoting the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but you, Queen General, and we love you for it. Oh, thank you. But a lot of people like to ignore him. A lot of people like to ignore him. But the stuff that we love about his greatest giants that he made, at some point you got to say, well, all of this fruit that's going around here that's shaking up the world, wonder what's the root? That's a side note for a comment that was just made. Listen. So I saw some words from Stacey Abrams. Then I saw this Washington Post piece that was just put out about who Joe Biden just hired. You already know he hired his senior advisor for linebacking and security, also known as who? Simone Sanders, right? Simone Sanders and all of her beautiful body. She took to the stage to tackle, knowing, y'all know I'm telling the truth. I showed you the footage, right? She took to the stage to tackle a non-threatening, non-violent, anti-dairy protester on behalf of Joe Biden and his wife. She put it all on the line and broke her nail. Pre-COVID. Fortunately, she was able to get it done. Get it fixed in a reasonable time. And was bragging about the violence that she was willing to inflict on behalf of her white master. Never forgetting that this is the same Simone Sanders who I told you tweeted out to thousands of followers and many influencers that watch and follow her when she told this black man, Uncle Luke, who wrote a political op-ed piece about Kamala Harris. She said that she was tired of the unsolicited opinions of black men. How many of y'all remember that? Joe Biden thought that after she said that, he said, no, she's worthy of hire. We're going to hire her for security and just call her senior advisor. Because what is you advising? Lord have mercy. Watch this. So, the piece from The Nation is what I want to read you very briefly. Just a real quick excerpt before I have to go. Shout out to you, Themis and Thought, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. So here's this piece that was just put out from thenation.com. It says, if not now, when? Behind the growing push for a Black woman VP. And this is who they have on the cover. This piece says, 36 long years later, Black women now recognized as the bedrock of the Democratic Party have much more leverage, and they are using it to push former Vice President Joe Biden very hard and very publicly to pick a Black woman as his running mate. Last Friday, 200 prominent Black female Democratic leaders and activists signed a letter to that point. We've heard for years that Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Now is the time to put deeds to words, prominent Democratic Party activist Karen Finney told the Washington Post. We felt it was so important to unify and lift up our voices with a clear message in support of a Democratic vice presidential nominee who is female and Black. The letter didn't back any one candidate, but put forward a list of qualified women. Here's some of the women they put in there, y'all. Stacey Abrams, Senator Kamala Harris, Representatives Karen Bass of California, Val Demings of Florida, Marsha L. Fudge of Ohio, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, Susan Rice, that's a part of the letter that they put together. Now watch this. I'm now reading to you from, hold on, let me pull up the other article that I had that I was wanting to read you. This is an important part that I want to emphasize here. Oh yes, this is it. Okay, this is from The Nation. Watch this. So as I'm going to skip on down here because it's a kind of a lengthy piece, but it goes on to say, to have multiple Black women in a vetting process, women who could be not only VP but president, shows you the amazing pipeline of Black women leaders, says one of them. Many women I interviewed said the exact same thing. If not now, when? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Listen to this important piece. Y'all, I don't want y'all to miss this. Listen to this important piece. Nobody behind this effort is threatening to sit out the election if the VP isn't Black. Quote, I haven't heard one person say we won't vote for Biden if he doesn't pick a Black woman, Daughtery says. The leverage their effort brings is enthusiasm. Oh my God. Oh my God. Shout out to you, Dennis, for your gift. Oh my God. Did you hear what this Black woman says that their leverage is? They said they're not going to sit out. What did you all hear me just read? What did they just say that the leverage is? Daughtery says, what is their leverage, family? I know I'm talking to some intelligent Black people. Y'all, look, I got somewhere to go here in just a minute. I got something to do real quick. But I had to come to you all real quick to at least mention this issue. They said that their leverage is their enthusiasm. Somebody please put, is there a house emoji? Is there a car emoji? Money emoji? Can somebody put some of that in here? Somebody find a school emoji. Any of those emojis, will somebody please put it in the chat? Y'all know I'm not lying to you. The link is in the chat so that you can study it and read it for yourself. And also, I put a picture I put an actual clip of the video footage from MSNBC on my Twitter page a few days ago. I've been mulling over this for a few days, deciding if I was going to even talk about it. So go to, if you want to follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky, my last name first, go to Twitter, Dillard Vicky, and you'll be able to just go through my tweets and you'll be able to see the video footage I put up a few days ago about it. Okay, I see y'all putting it. Okay, I see houses. Okay, good, good. I see cars. I see some money. Is that a school? Is that a building I'm looking at? Shout out to you, LaRon, for your gift. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. I can't keep doing the League of Mammies anymore, family. I'm sorry. I can't keep doing the League of Mammies anymore, Black family. Now, with all of those different things that we've just discussed, that you just put in the chat, right? With all of those things, a house, school, car, can you buy, can enthusiasm, is enthusiasm able to procure those things for you, Black family? Somebody talk Black to me. Does enthusiasm buy those things? Can you get any of those things with enthusiasm? Can you get money with that? Somebody talk Black to me. Does that pay for your college education? Does that help on rent? That mortgage and stuff? Can you start that business with enthusiasm? What can you negotiate with enthusiasm? With a politician? Why y'all laughing at me? Somebody talk Black to me. What can I exchange in dealing with a politician who has proven himself to be anti-Black? What is that? Can that get me a house and a car? Can you build your company with it? Okay. Now that we have agreed, now I know I didn't use an actual, I didn't go to the dictionary for a formal definition of enthusiasm. But I think that there's a consensus among us real quick that you can't do much with no enthusiasm like that. Outright like that. It don't enthusiasm, like that doesn't build houses with the politician. It doesn't quite work like that. Don't like to me. Okay. Now that we are on the same page, I think I better read it again. Nobody behind, again, I'm reading from The Nation magazine, news, publication. Nobody behind this effort is threatening to sit out the election if the VP pick isn't Black. I'm quoting now. I haven't heard one person say we won't not vote for Biden if he doesn't pick a Black woman, Daughtery says. The leverage their effort brings is enthusiasm. It's the difference between I'll vote for you and maybe write a check, says Minion Moore, a longtime party leader and Hillary Clinton insider. And I'm going to get my mother, father, sister, and brother, and everybody in my family to vote. This piece goes on to say Black turnout slipped 7 points between 2008 when Obama was first elected and 2016. We think this is a way to mobilize Black women to create genuine enthusiasm, to close the Black enthusiasm gap we see between 2008 and 2016. They said they're trying to close the enthusiasm gap. These brilliant Black women, their brilliant plan for Black America, what they plan to use for leverage is enthusiasm. And you guys want me to be impressed because you hail from Howard or Harvard? Forgive me. I still remain unimpressed. Thumbs up, family. Be sure to like and share. By the way, don't forget that we have a store at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. You can get this beautiful mug, a mug similar to this. You can get a book bag. You can get shirts that say "Talk Black to Me." Again, that's shopfnq.com, family. Listen. It says many of my dozen or so interviews for this story came after new accounts surfaced in the Tara Reid, the former Biden staffer last year who accused him of inappropriately touching her neck and shoulders when she worked for him in 1993, and in late March said he sexually assaulted her. All of the women I talked to about it were concerned about the allegation, but there was a consensus around one thing: absent more solid corroboration, any move to sideline Biden over the charge would risk alienating the Black voters who, from South Carolina through Michigan, made him the nominee. It would crush Black voters' enthusiasm, one woman who signed the letter told me. When it comes to voter enthusiasm, Biden has other considerations, of course, especially bringing in fervent supporters of Senator Bernie Sanders. Given Biden's pledge to pick a woman, though, there's no obvious candidate who will do that. It goes on talking about a whole bunch of other madness here. But they specifically say that they don't want Amy Klobuchar, right? You guys, I want these sisters to know that this is humiliating. This is embarrassing. And you are weakening the efforts of the Black collective, Black society to get what we deserve. Many of them are talking about a Black agenda because we made that a thing. But we've been very clear about what the Black agenda is. Somebody say, cut the check. Somebody say, cut the check. Somebody say, cut the check. The presidential candidates get that. They've been debating it because we made it a subject. Not one or two people who started a hashtag, but the Black collective who pushed it broadly and who was talking about it even when they weren't. Somebody talk Black to me. Those who know what I'm talking about. But listen, we collectively made it a thing. And isn't it something how none of those Black women said anything about cutting a check? They said nothing about an economic policy, and they said absolutely nothing specifically about reparations, which of course is economic. Those three things, having a Black woman VP, tell me, what does that do for Black folk? The VP doesn't sign laws unless Joe Biden dies or something. Somebody talk Black to me. And then obviously they are no longer the VP, they become president. Having a Black female Supreme Court justice doesn't do much for us. It takes a majority of those on the Supreme Court to get anything done. Right now, there's not even an opening. They're probably hoping and anticipating that it might be. Because what's her name? What's the old white lady on the bench who keeps going back and forth to the hospital? Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's still sick and stuff. So we need to ask these women, what opening are you talking about? There's not an opening right now for that. And you guys aren't talking about adding an additional Supreme Court justice to the bench and making that something that Congress should do, and then make a law, make a statute. So if you're not talking about that, adding an additional Supreme Court justice to the Supreme Court, what are you talking about? Moreover, what does that do for Black folk? And what do you mean by a Black agenda that you don't give any specifics for? Somebody talk Black to me. I want you to listen. to what they believe is a powerful little video that they put together for Joe Biden. Just before I let you listen to it, even though it's all over social media, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Listen to this madness real quick. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Are y'all ready? I'm cueing it right now. And then I'm almost done. Watch this. Let me get the sound right.
Biden, you need us. You owe us. Black women are miracle workers.
We have been saving the Democratic Party since 1965.
2020 is no different.
Your only path to victory is through Black women.
The voters who need to turn out, we know how to mobilize them. Our votes must not be taken for granted.
The following commitments will begin to show Black voters that you are serious about us.
America needs a Black woman vice president.
Candidates like Amy Klobuchar will not energize us. America needs a Black woman Supreme Court Justice.
Remember Anita Hill? We do.
America needs more in a comprehensive Black agenda.
The rules are rigged against our communities.
Whether we are talking about a Black person who died of COVID-19 because of the lack of access to healthcare,
Or Ahmaud Arbery being killed by vigilantes.
Or Breonna Taylor, an EMT killed by police while laying in her bed. We deserve solutions that address systemic racism, economic injustice, and domestic terrorism.
Joe Biden, you enacted drug and crime laws that harmed the Black community.
Okay, that's enough of that madness. Isn't that some foolishness? Somebody talk Black to me. Isn't that some foolishness? What is a Black female Supreme Court justice going to do? Number one, they don't even have an opening. So they trying to play you, Black family. All of this is pretend. All of this is just them trying to get close and near to whiteness to just try to see something. They're just trying to see something. You know, have you ever just said something to somebody passed by there real quick? I just want to see something. That's all you doing. You ain't interested in nothing substantive. You ain't looking for no tangibles. You too scared to death in the first place to help. Get out the way, Abilene. And what we look like talking about, we just want a Black female Supreme Court justice. You better be on the order, no, Tammy Kemp. Better not be on the order of somebody that thinks like that, that believes like that. Somebody talk Black to me. Sit your funny looking self down. And here's another quick problem that I have with these women right now. Why are you sitting there pushing right now? If we acknowledge that we're at war and that Black folk are under attack, why is it that we are separating ourselves and doing this gender divide, talking about Black women this, Black women that? No, this is not the time to be talking about Black women, Black women. Why aren't we talking about Black folks as a unified block? Why aren't we talking about Black folks as a unified voting block? You are weakening your position when you X out and when you ignore your own man. Somebody talk Black to me. Black men have found to vote in similar numbers as Black women, though Black women we edge you out just a little bit. But their concern with Black men is that Black men, when they're ticked off at you, it's not just that they're going to sit out, it's that some of them actually vote for the other side. I believe it's a white supremacist tactic to tell Black women how you guys are the bedrock, you guys are the base of our party. They're telling you that to make you feel powerful, and because they know that you can be influential with your families, like the article just said, and try to tell Big Mama and your children and everybody else, get on down there to vote. And by the way, reminding your husband. to make sure he casts his vote. That's exactly what they want you to do. They are not telling you how powerful you are, Black woman, so that you can ask for nothing. Lord, have mercy today. Did you hear what I just said? They are not bragging to you, sis, about how your vote has carried the Democratic Party for nearly 40 years because they want you to ask for nothing. They know that all you need is an acknowledgement, and you are giggling and giddy. Shout out to you, Reid, for your gift. Shout out to you, G. Williams, for your gift. You better preach, my sister. Wish I had more to give. Such as you had, I bless you. What you did, give 1,000-fold. We thank you for supporting Black media. Did you all hear what I just said? That's some madness. That's a trick. See, when you don't recognize you're at war, that also means that you're not going to be observing what's going on with you and what's going on with your people. You don't even know that they launched that narrative. They put that out there. They wanted you to know that you're the base of the Democratic Party because they know that that's going to tickle your fancy. You're going to feel like something. And you're going to go run down to the poll station and continue to make stuff happen for white people and not ask for nothing. The worst part of this entire piece, the worst part of this entire panel, excuse me, was this part. And I want to say it again because I don't want you to forget it. Nobody behind this effort is threatening to sit out the election if the VP pick isn't Black. I haven't heard one person say we won't not vote for Biden if he doesn't pick a Black woman, Daughtery says. The leverage their effort brings is enthusiasm. This is the danger of the old guard. This is the reason why that there's also a changing of the guard in Black society. There has to be. Because sadly and unfortunately, you see the older generation, Black generation, and those that have been groomed by them, like some of the women that you just saw on there. They're content. Shout out to you, Black Capricorn, for your gift. Thank you, my beautiful sister. Thank you, beloved. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. They're content in our bondage. They think it's okay for us to go another year, another 4 years, another decade without demanding them to cut the check. They are content with the job near white people, a title from white people, a pat on the back, an attaboy, and that'll make everything for them all right. Let me tell you something. One of my supporters made this point, and I shouldn't even say one, it was several of them, actually, a couple of them at least that I read, made this point. They were talking about that a lot of the ladies that were on this panel, some of the ladies that's on this panel, let me show you the picture again. And by the way, these are not the only women that's a part of that letter, but these were just some of the ones that were there. And some of these ladies, I'm not dogging out. Some of the ladies, one of the sisters, a couple of sisters on there seem like they're pretty decent and they mean well, but it's just, the strategy is just off. Look at this picture. Look at these women. Look at these women. Someone made the point that a couple of them, a few of them are not them, that either they or their parents, for example, are not foundational Black Americans. Shout out to you, Opus X, for your gift. Blessing, sister. Bless you back, beloved. What's interesting is We know that Black folk around the world know very well this enemy, this open enemy, through slavery, through Jim Crow, through apartheid, through colonialism, on and on and on, right? There is a commonality that we have with our brothers and sisters around the globe in the Black diaspora. But there is a uniqueness that Black folk here in the United States of America experience, especially after 465 years. And because America is now the greatest perpetrator of white supremacy, we understand this enemy better than anybody because we've been directly under its foot. Someone made the point that a lot of times white supremacist organizations handpick Black folk whose lineage is not in the United States. You know why? Because a lot of times when folks are immigrants or they're children of immigrants and so forth, they look at Black folk here sometimes. They look at us sometimes like, you guys need to just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. What's the big deal? Let that stuff go. Don't ask for that. They see having an MSNBC show as the highest level of success. They see writing for a certain newspaper as making it. In fact, I tweeted that to a Black sister who said, I made it. She was laughing about how she made it because one of the major white publications, I think they linked her story or something, and you couldn't tell her nothing. She said on there laughing, talking about some, mama, I made it. I said, look, sis, I said, because white people pat you on the back, baby. That's not the acme of success. Stop getting excited because white folks acknowledged you. White folk tag you and your whole world is through. Usually when they tag you, when they link you, and when they're patting you on the back, a lot of times it's because you're doing something that ultimately helps them and you don't know it. I was talking to a Black immigrant sister some time back, and I was talking heavy about politics, and she acknowledged it. She herself is from Africa. I won't say the country. And she was talking about how a lot of them are fearful when they get here. And that's the reason why a lot of times they're silent on our issues. She and I personally talked about these kinds of things. They let little stuff go because they're concerned that their visas might be snatched. That's a terrible predicament to be in when you can't speak truth to power because you're scared that they're going to change your legal status in this country and ship you back to where you came from. But that's why they allow you to come here, because they know that you won't be a threat to white supremacy. And baby, if you're not a threat to it, that means you're helping it. Lord have mercy. Did you hear what I just said? Your silence helps to normalize it. Let's go to America to experience the American dream and experience all the good stuff that Black folk there have not yet experienced. America refused to give them anything. But because I'm Black, they'll install me in these particular hand-picked positions to make it look like Black folk is coming, that Black folks are coming up. And really, we're not. They know that certain individuals won't push back on the tyranny of American modern slavery like we would do. Just something to think about. Black family, forgive me. Today's show had to be very, very short, but I wanted to tell you that this is pathetic. This little panel, all the stuff that they were talking about, there was nothing but girlfriend chit-chat talk. COVID-19, look at them. They all in their houses, right? Just like we're in ours, baby. Y'all got it twisted. That's all that was. That was just a girl chat. All that y'all was talking about, y'all could have kept that off camera because every bit of everything that y'all discuss has absolutely nothing to do with Black people. It is not substantive. It's not about cutting the check. It's not about Black economics. So we would just ignore you and act like that never even happened. Shout out to you, Lance. Lance says, I support you, sister. Thank you so much for supporting me and really this network at FlyNubianQueenTV.com. You guys are just props, just there for optics' sake. You're just an extra in the show. And when they're done with you, I'm going to end with this. Oh, God. Family, don't forget, go to flynubianbusiness.com if you want to learn how to build a Black business. I'm going to say this, and I'm out. Go to flynubianbusiness.com if you want to build a Black business. This is the best time, family, to start your own company, your own business, having an extra stream of income, even if you keep your regular job. But it's time for us, family, for us to start to engage in self-determination activities. Listen. And also, don't forget to check out our store, shopfnq.com. Listen, and I'm through. When you utterly submit to the demands of white supremacy, when you sell out Black people, when you're determined to do nothing for us and do everything for them, watch this. Like Barack Obama, did you all see what's happened recently? Have you all seen what's happened recently with Obama? What Mitch McConnell came out and said about what Mitch McConnell, the Senate Republican majority leader, said about Barack Hussein Obama? How many of you all know about that? I got something coming out on that here soon. So make sure that you go to my Instagram page, Vicky X Dillard, so that you can see where you can watch that podcast. Listen, what did Mitch McConnell just come out after Obama gave white folks all these laws, when Obama kept compromising, giving Republicans all kinds of stuff that they asked for, when they screwed him out of a Supreme Court pick, when they ran roughshod over Obama, they treated him like their water boy. What did Mitch McConnell just come out and say? He told Obama to shut up. Did y'all hear what I just said? 1,200 plus of you in the chat. We're so pleased that you tuned into the Vicky Show, but I've got to go early today. Family, make sure that you share this. Make sure that you share this out at the bottom of the screen. Hit the share button, copy your link, and put it all over social media and tell everybody to make sure that they're tuned into the Vicky Show weekdays on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. We believe in the elevation of numerous voices of Black women on this network. So that's why I always ask that you make sure you're subscribed, because I'm not the only queen here, and I don't want you to miss the other content that our other sisters are doing. Real quick. Look at this. So you know I ain't lying. Can you all see this? This is from The Guardian. What does that headline say? Can you all see what that headline says? That headline says, McConnell tells Obama to keep his mouth shut after Trump criticism. Did you all hear me? Did you all see that a few days ago in the news? It says, in an extraordinary statement against a former president, Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has told Barack Obama, quote, keep his mouth shut over criticism of Donald Trump, calling him classless. See what it gets you when you display Black male weakness? Before Obama took office, Obama was forced to denounce two of the strongest Black masculine men that was in his circle. That's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and that's Reverend Jeremiah Wright. They intentionally did not want those influences around Barack Obama because they knew that they would very likely influence him to do something good for Black folk. They believe in doing good things for people in general, but you know that they would have been in his ear not to forget his own people. And Obama distanced himself, didn't stay in contact with him. Michelle Obama, in her recent book, Becoming, dogged out Reverend Wright, even in her book, while going around on a press conference, her book tour, praising George Bush. Make that make sense. Did you all hear what I just said? Make it make sense. What you get is after they used you up. Do y'all remember what the Republicans did? They met early on in the beginning, before Obama was able to get anything done, and they made up their mind that anything that he tried to get through, they were going to fight against it. Remember, the only reason why he even got the ACA through was because the Democrats controlled both houses of Congress for a short period of time. What happens when you display black male weakness and you allow yourself to be pimped? And you go around acting like, well, we're compromising and we're getting along and this is how you do America. Barack Obama gave George H.W. Bush, he gave George Bush one of the highest, he gave him a presidential medal, one of the highest civilian honors. George Bush, the liar, the CIA agent, the guy who ran it also for a minute, the one that had everything to do with this crack cocaine stuff. Obama thought he was worthy of the highest presidential medal. That's what you get. They tell you to shut up. Keep your mouth shut. This man, McConnell, wasn't the president. He's not the president. But he doesn't even see you as powerful. He sees himself as powerful and his strategy and his plan and how he is abusing and misusing Congress. He told Barack Obama, keep your mouth shut. This is the reason why we are not impressed with a black VP female pick. Because when you have a black-faced person, all they're there to do is to push white supremacy. And it makes it easier for them. When you have somebody black in power, white folks like that a lot of times, especially if they know you and they know that you are amenable to their agenda. They know that they can use you as a scapegoat for their wickedness. So none of us are impressed. None of us believes that that's going to do anything for the black collective by having a black female VP pick and talking about a black Supreme Court justice when there's not even officially an opening. I guess you guys are anticipating there being an opening, which I understand, but that ain't gonna do nothing. It takes a majority. And right now, it's a conservative majority. That's the reason why you get so many rulings that come down 5-4. Let me get ready to get out of here, family. I'm so sorry. I have to cut it short today. Love you so much, family. Make sure that you share this out. Some of you, unfortunately, yesterday, my show was shadow banned. You all know some days back, many of my shows have been shadow banned. That's okay. I believe at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. But also my show is shown on other broadcasts, on other platforms as well, on several other platforms. We reach quite a few people in terms of some of the affiliates. So if you're watching me on another podcast, or if you're watching this playing at a different time in a different place, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And make sure that you comment and engage. That draws other folk into the podcast. Thank you for watching us all over the world from different platforms. The Vicky Show right here on FlyNubianQueen.com and FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women like you. Shout out to our brothers that are in the digital building as well. Thank you all so much. I came to you in peace. I leave you in peace. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at VickyXDillard and on Twitter at DillardVicky. I love you. Mwah.